Okay, so back by popular demand. So I always get, again, in this series of what if, people ask, well, what if somebody bum rushes you, whatever the case may be. One of the things I want to point out is that, first of all, speed does matter in a fight. But more important than speed is timing and control and coordination. When I say control, again, I'm not talking about, sitting there like a rollerball. I'm talking about being able to control your body. So this is the reason why in Warrior Flow, we train people to learn how to control their bodies as best they can. Because, unless you're going into the battle, with your astral body or some nonsense, you got to bring your body into the fight. So when we're moving and we're practicing our drills, the purpose of the drills is so that when I gotta move my arms fast, when I gotta move my body fast with intention, the first time doing it is not when I'm in the middle of a fight. No matter what you do, however you've trained your body or not trained your body, you're gonna move within your body based on what your body can do. In other words, if you never trained to practice moving fast, don't expect to be able to move as fast as you probably could when you're in a situation. Because you got to train it. The muscles got to know how to do it. It's like the first time you're lifting weights. I don't care how strong you are. You're not lifting as much as you could because the muscles have to learn how to control the weight. This is why in the beginning, when you're learning how to lift weights, you're making gains by leaps and bounds, is because on the neurological level, you're getting more fiber recruitment as the body saying, okay, right, yeah, now I'm learning how to do this. Now I'm remembering how to do this. Now I have the control to balance the weight or whatever I'm going to do. So it's the same thing because your body is your body. So in Warrior Flow, one of the reasons why, and step back my friend, is because I got stupid and hit him by accident. Right? So the reason why I also practice these exercises, not just as warm-up exercises, which are good warm-ups, but also so you start learning how to practice moving your hands fast. If you pick up the video, right, the Fast Hands program, I get into how to get your hands faster. But it's not just about getting your hands faster, it's also developing control and timing in your hands so that when you gotta move fast, number one, you're moving as fast as you could. Number two, that you're also moving with some level of control or coordination. Doesn't mean that you're never gonna miss, doesn't mean that you're never gonna overcommit on certain things. But the more control you have over your body, the less likely you're going to do those things. Or if you do, you're not going to move so far where you can't recover in time. Remember, the bad guy is human. He puts his pants on the same way you do. What does that mean? It means they're not gods. One of the things I see in this space all the time is too many people make the bad guys out to be like they're superhuman or like they're gods. And all that does is serve to reinforce people's fears, in my opinion. You're just making people fearful of the bad guys for no reason. All this nonsense about prison train monsters and all this stuff. Anybody can kill anybody. Our prisons are full of people who've never killed before and have killed people effectively. Some of them are even women, okay? So it's not some great skill you gotta have to do it if you have the will. But if you have skill, well, that's a different thing. And we're not talking about murder, we're talking about self-defense. We're talking about legal self-defense. So when I'm moving at speed, because I try to move as natural as possible, if I have to deal with someone, he's coming in fast, I'm already in doing whatever I got to do. The reason I can move like that is because I practice training my body to move like that. Now, will you be able to move as fast as I can? Maybe, maybe not, I don't know. But one thing's for certain, if you train yourself in your training to move, or what we call accelerating to violence, whatever that is, full speed for you is full speed. It's better than, moving slow. Right. So as I'm moving and dealing with someone, when we're practicing with each other, we try to stay off the neck and the head because it gets dangerous. But when I'm practicing, pretty much anything else after that goes. I'm also moving in a way where I'm trying to feel my way through as I'm accelerating to violence, and also staying relaxed and loose as best I can, so that I do get hit like a boxer. I learn how to roll with the punches. You don't learn how to take a shot unless you take a shot, but you also don't learn how to move and coordinate your body as best as possible if you're not kind of feeling, the sting of death, so to speak, to give you a little negative reinforcement on how to move. So as I'm moving with my kashuku here, what's going on is I start off at a moderate pace, and then we start accelerating to violence. And what looks like a bunch of slappy stuff is actually, these are palm strikes or chops or hammer fists to clear things, because, you know, our arms getting in each other's way because, you know, he gets a vote in the fight too. The purpose of all this is to train you so that when you're making contact, you get used to accelerating to violence and moving at what I call supernatural speed. A lot of times when I have to deal with a person's arm, I just do it on this side. I'll be careful. And what I'm doing is because I can feel where this is, I'm skimming along the surface, and I clear it as fast as I can. And then from there, once I get past their hands, I'm just headhunting. I don't care. You know, in warrior flow, you know, we're all about headhunting. And the reason is, you know, kill the head, the body dies. We're trying to, you know, and if I can break the connection between this and this, right? If I can break the connection, then I will, you know. And of course, you know, if I hit you in the throat, it's going to mess your singing voice up. But the point is, as I'm moving, doing whatever, everything also is through the prism of ruthless intention. You know, one of the things that Grandmaster Karen was very big on, and I've talked about this in lessons for my masters, it's not so much that Tim hit hard. I mean, he hit hard. You know, is that he hit for effect. And when he hits you in a place and you felt like you were going to like cough up your liver, trust me, it wasn't for a lack of trying. You know, he hit you like that. He intended to rupture your liver. You know, if he hit you in the gut and you felt like you were going to pass out, it's because now he was trying to, you know, rupture your aorta. Or if it hit you in the chest and you felt kind of like your body was going to separate, you know, from your soul, and then you had to like kind of pull yourself back, it's because he had every intention of trying to stop your heart. My point is, that level of ruthless intention drove his actions. So when he threw a punch, it wasn't just, I'm going to hit you. It was, I'm going to put my fist through you and crush your spine at the same time, maybe pull it out, you know, like Mortal Kombat and hold it up, whatever it is, like Predator. So when you're learning and practicing how to do these things, it changes the dynamic, because again, now when people start getting into the what if game, you know, as I always say, when people say, well, what if somebody does this or does that? I always ask, well, what if I try to kill them? What if I try to crush the skull? What if I freaking try to make them a quadriplegic? You know, I get a vote in the fight too, right? And so in warrior flow, because we don't care about anybody else's flow, everything we do is focused through that mindset, and we don't apologize for it. You know, and the reason we don't apologize for it is because a real fight is not like a duel. It's not like a sport competition. It's, I'm in a situation I really don't want to be in the first place, but now that I'm here, I got to do something. And so I'm going to do whatever I got to do. And, you know, I'll worry about the consequences later. Consequences be damned, because, you know, if you're going to get in trouble with the law, you got to be alive to be able to go to court to fight that. So hopefully this gives you kind of an idea. Like I said, I wanted to touch on this just a little more because of the fact that this is stuff, that I want to be able to, you know, get people to understand, because these are things that you can actually start learning to work on yourself, but you got to get your mind in the right place.